Hello, and welcome to Keeper's Corner Podcast, where we're breaking down anything and everything Utica City FC related. With your hosts, as always, Matthew Sterling, Michelle Brooks, and Brandon Brooks. Let's go. Hello, everyone. Welcome to a special emergency edition of Keeper's Corner Podcast. Tonight, as I'm recording, it is almost 12 hours since Utica announced that they have made a trade that, in my opinion, and it's only my opinion, because of how late it is, Brandon and Michelle aren't here, so if it sounds like I'm kind of whisper talking, it's because I am. Where was I? Yes, so that trade with San Diego should sound familiar because this player was involved in a trade to San Diego 2 years ago. In that trade, we received Christian Segura and some cash considerations to offset financial stuff and blah blah front office. That's something for Tommy Tanner to explain if you can catch him at the bar after the game. Now, although details haven't been released, this player's coming back to Utica. No player has been announced going to San Diego. So that most likely means it's for a player to be named later. PTBNL, for those familiar with the term, or cash considerations. This player was a hometown favorite when he played for Utica, and I'm sure he was a favorite his first 4 years in the league out in Syracuse. Slavisa Ubiparipovic. If you don't understand why this is such a huge signing, but let me fill you in. As a rookie in 2014-15, Slav totaled 29 points. Injury shortened his season in 15-16, and then after that, he returned and had 3 seasons, each better than the last, before being shipped out west. That first season back, 2016-17, 36 points. 17-18, the last year in Syracuse, 39 points. 18-19, the first year in Utica, he did miss some games due to a severe ankle sprain. He still managed 40 points in 19 games. 39 points in 21 games in Syracuse, 40 points, 19 games in Utica. Great midfielder, controls the field well, possession player, and unbelievable left foot. I can't describe how good it is. Just phenomenal. If not the best in the league, top 3. And now you're pairing him with the team that Tommy Tanner had already put together. And I know people think of Utica as this defensive team, which they had been their first 2 years since moving down from Syracuse. But if you look at the roster, right now, there are only 6 defenders on the team. Raymond, Vitale, Roberts, Schindler, Toby, and Obasi. And those last two can't even play right now due to visa injuries and a groin injury. Offensively, this team is looking like a superpower. I'm talking fully functional second Death Star level threat. And at the moment, maybe that defense is the issue. I don't think it's going to be that bad, though, because we know what Raymond can do. Vitali had a much better second season in Utica, and I hope to see him build off that. Schindler is a tank. Roberts was injured 2 years ago. Very athletic, very quick out of the back. He'll blow by someone trying to stop him. Ben comes back with championship experience, same as Slav. That back line is still going to be solid. I think just because the way the roster's built, where there's 6, 7, 8. Okay, so they're technically 9 forwards, though 2 of them are inactive because of visa issues. Ricardo Diegues and Zuniga. So we still have Petrera, Bo, Isaac Selmo. I might be pronouncing that wrong. Timmy Goldman, Ronaldinho Denise, Joey Tavernisi, and Patrick Thompson. Thompson has experience as both a midfield and a defender. I would expect him to drop back into that back line until at least Obasi gets back. Midfield is just terrifying. Terrifyingly good. You got your co-captain Nate Bordeaux. You have Christian Segura, the team MVP from 2 years ago. You got Moy Gonzalez. You got Quentin Swift, Rafa Godoy, who just came back was just traded early this week, announced, but traded last week from Rochester to Utica, and now you add Ubi back into that mix, and it's that middle third. It should be Utica's to run and just bury opponents. Lineups could be you might see a 2-2-1 setup if they're pressed for a goal, and you let Schindler or Logan man that back line like a sweeper. I would expect you to put Slav and Bordeaux on the same line. Maybe run a 1-2-2 instead of the typical 2-1-2. But if you put Joey or Bo out there with Slav and Bordeaux, and then your backup line or second line, or maybe it's the first line, because this team is so deep. I'm talking Marianas Trench deep in talent. That other line's gonna run. If you're not picking Bo for one, you're picking Joey. And then you're gonna pair them with Moy and Segura until Diegues comes back, and then you're pairing Moy, Segura, and Diegues again, because we know how good that was from 2 years ago. It's just... Look, I'm on record already saying Florida's going to win the regular season for the division, but this move changes the balance of power, and with the game's not yet played, the season not yet begun, I need to retract that statement and say Utica is now the favorite in the East. If healthy and you get, let's say Toby. Toby's probably the biggest issue. You get his visa issues cleared up. He's 3 years removed from being Defender of the Year for the entire league. So that's why I'm saying how big it is. You then have 4 players that I can easily name who have 40-point potential in Bo, Joey, Moy, and Christian. And it's such a beautiful, beautiful picture for what could come to be this season. Now, you might be looking at Slav's stats from his time in San Diego and go, well, hey, he only had 24 points in 20 games in 1920. That seems like a lot to regress. And valid point. You might also say, yeah, he only played in 6 games last year and scored 1 goal and 2 assists. Not good. But here's what we know about San Diego, and we know it because it happened. I mean, it happens to a lot of teams in this league. You can say it with Togba as the failed experiment here in Utica. Guys can carve out a role for themselves as stars and studs and just, the man on a specific team. And then chase, maybe more money, a better climate, whatever it is that makes them move teams, either in free agency or via trade. And they can end up in a team who's philosophically not the right fit. It happens. It's unfortunate. But we saw it with Christian, who was absolutely buried on the roster when he was in San Diego as well, after leaving Solas and before finding home here in Utica. Let me go. He had 31 points in 22 games when he played in Sonora. He goes to San Diego, only plays in 15, scores 11 points. Gets set free in Utica, becomes a central piece of the attack. 37 points, 19 games. It's about putting players in their best position to succeed. And that worked here in Utica for Slav. It's worked with Christian. Our lines are probably... The first 2 lines can be first team lines almost anywhere in this league, if not on any team, because they're just that good. I'm excited. That's what this emergency podcast is about. Just, hey, get pumped. I really don't have anything else to say that wasn't said when we recorded yesterday, except I was wrong. I didn't know this was cooking. I guess I'll just say, hey, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for listening. You'll get the usual plugs in the outro here. If you go to our website, anchor.com/KeepersCornerPod, you can now leave us voicemails. So, hey, Let us know how you feel about the signing after the game Sunday. Let us know how you feel about being back in the odd for the home opener. Better believe we're going to make it a great environment for our boys. So until next time, I'm Matt. Thanks for listening. Hey everyone, thanks for listening to the Keeper's Corner podcast. Be sure to subscribe wherever you listen to us so you never miss an episode. If that podcast app also has reviews, be sure to leave us 5 stars to let us know how we're doing and reach a larger audience. It really helps us out. You can find us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Keeper Corners Pod. And you can always find us there talking UCFC soccer. Thanks again for the support. It's truly appreciated. One last thing. Go Utica.